Welcome to the latest Contrabassoon review video. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to be alerted to when I post new videos on the channel. I try to do them as often as I get new instruments, and if you subscribe, you'll be alerted to when the next one comes on. So thanks for doing that. Basically what I do is I get different models of contrabassoons and I compare them. I examine their personalities, their idiosyncrasies, and I share it with you. And then I play the same piece of music using the same microphones so you can hear the difference between the instruments as well. On one of these past videos, a viewer named TW asked a question in the comments, and he said, "What do you think of the Amatis? I played an older one and it seems to do its job well. However, I have nothing to compare it to. Everyone seems to just hate the Amati, but I want an actual professional opinion. If an instrument that is $20,000 to $30,000 cheaper does just as well, then financially it's a better choice." Excellent point, TW. And I had never played an Amati before, but now thanks to a generous fellow contrabassoonist, we can do that. And here it is. This is a year 2000 Model 36 Amati contrabassoon. They also make a Model 37, which goes up taller, and a Model 38 that has a low A. There have been many improvements made to Amati contrabassoons, as I understand it, in the late 90s. So this year 2000 instrument has a lot of those improvements. Instruments older than the 90s are probably the reason that people spoke poorly of the Amati contrabassoons, because they didn't have good tonal centers, and they were generally not reliable instruments. So this has those improvements. The downside to all those improvements is they raise the price. So what used to be a $5,000 contrabassoon is now a $12,000 contrabassoon. But it is a far better instrument for sure. Looking at the physical layout of the instrument, you'll notice the keywork is very similar to a World War II Heckel, for example, or earlier than that. For example, in the left hand here, you've got this little ball for the second octave key. And to me, that makes it really difficult to get around on the upper registers. The bell goes off to the side. It does not face forward. And there are two things that I can think of that sort of make that suboptimal. The first is it sort of has the appearance like your sound is going off to the side. Of course, with an aerophone, that's not the case. Unless you're playing the lowest note, the air is coming out generally in all directions. But it sort of looks a little bit strange that the instrument is pointing sideways. That being said, the case for the contrabassoon can be much thinner because of that. So it looks basically like a big bass guitar case, which is a nice thing when you're trying to do traveling with it, for example. The weight of this contrabassoon, it weighs 11 pounds. That is a full 2 pounds, more than 2 pounds lighter than most other contrabassoons. Now the trade-off there is the lighter weight is due to thinner metal that was used in the key workings. So it probably is a little more fragile than other contrabassoons. You want to keep that in mind if you're considering an instrument that would be for like a high school, for example. So maybe the cheaper option is not as good if it's a more fragile instrument. But if you're doing a lot of traveling, having those extra 2 pounds lighter is going to make a huge difference. And so maybe that's a good thing for you. The left hand rest is not adjustable. And that's a bummer for me, because I actually find I actually use the top of my hand to balance the horn quite a lot when I'm playing. So I've added a little cork here to give me some more stability while I play this instrument. I wish that was adjustable. Obviously, if it was my instrument, you could drill the holes and move that to the place that you want that rest. But it's always nice, especially when you have a horn that's shared, to have an adjustable left-hand rest there. That would be nice. On to the performance aspects of this contrabassoon. There's no other way to say it. The keys are really clacky. It is a loud instrument in terms of how the key work is done. So it is just quite loud. So the only upside to that possibly is that you could get paid doubling fees for castanets. Anyway, you get the idea. Another good part of this instrument is the high D, the D above staff. For most contrabassoons is a difficult note, a cantankerous note. On this horn, it comes out beautifully. high Ds on this instrument. So in general, over the last week of getting to know the Amati Contrabassoon, I found it to be a quiet but capable instrument. It has plenty of idiosyncrasies. Some of these idiosyncrasies are a bit difficult to manage and deal with, which probably makes playing it a little more difficult. But like a basic car that gets you from point A to point B, the Amati gets the job done. So let's hear what it sounds like playing Bach. This is the second minuet from the first cello suite on an Amati Contrabassoon.